Yes, welcome to BPM, Black Apocalypse Podcast Media. Today I've got a very special guest with me, Mrs. Don't Call Me a Supermom, Simone Roberts. Simone.
Hello.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you, why have you come into my ether? Why have I found you exactly? What's going on?
Well, I think it's got a lot to do with the budget news article that we had a few weeks back. Well, when I say that, actually, it was the original article was actually a year and a half ago.
Oh, really?
But they asked if they could republish it, as they thought it was fitting during lockdown, and they thought that it would really suit families to have that information again. Okay. I think a lot of families went back to basics, didn't they, during lockdown, and started cooking from scratch again. So they just thought it was fitting to bring it back out. So they asked to republish it. So I just sent in new pictures, yeah.
Okay, so basically the article read, when I looked at it, it was like, Superman feeds family of 6. I don't know why it's at 6, because you seem like you're 7. Are you 7?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. We are 7.
Actually, maybe back then when it was... Do you have a new baby?
Yes, I've had a baby recently, yeah.
Okay, so a family of 7, I'm updated it here, headliner. A family of 7 Supermom feeds a family of 7 on £25 or dollars a week. And I looked at this, I was like, wait a second. The reason why I wrote you straight away, because I was like, I come from a family of 8. And when I heard that, I thought to myself, my mum, we struggled growing up. We was obviously from a poorer black family, Birmingham. And I just had a mum there, so I didn't even have a dad. So our budget was probably around £25 a week, probably back then, especially when we was younger. I don't know if you remember. Where are you from again?
We're from Birmingham.
Okay.
I was brought up in Handsworth and Lee Bank. And then we moved to Small Heath.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Small Heath, and now we're in Rubery.
Okay, so see, that's the thing. It's funny because we was raised all over Birmingham, Smethwick, Handsworth. We moved to Rugby for a little bit, came back to Handsworth, and then my mum settled now in Northfield, so not far from you. Okay. Anyway, so when we was coming up, we was like,
oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, is there a delay on the line? Or is it all right?
Not that I can hear. It's fine, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when we was coming up, it was basically like, okay, what did we eat? Did we actually survive on a budget of €25 or pounds or whatever? And I think we did, but we didn't do it how you did it. You do it vegan. Now, I was a vegan for 2 years. I'm a vegetarian for 10 years now, because I dropped off. The reason why I dropped off being a vegan is because I was traveling a lot. And I realized a lot of countries don't cater towards vegans. They don't know. Soon, like if you go to Brazil, for example, and you say, I'm vegan, I don't eat meat, they look at you and they try and sneak meat into your dish. Seriously? Yeah. They did this to me. I was like, look, I don't eat meat. And they said, and then I realized it's a bit arrogant, actually, that we're here talking about, we don't eat meat. And there's these poor countries that don't even have this luxury.
Yeah.
They're struggling for food. Yeah. And we have the choice. So basically it was like that. And what I found with eating vegan was expensive, man. Expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I heard £25, I was like, nah, man, I don't know how she did it. So anyway, before we get into that, so you're from Birmingham. I actually got some questions. I wrote a lot of questions before we get into the stuff. So what was your upbringing like? How did your upbringing have anything to influence, like, why did you adapt from your youth, this style of living?
Well, in terms of like the resourcefulness, yes, because my mum always cooked like vegan, vegetarian, what we would call vital foods back then anyway, as part of our weekly, food. And all of our family friends and stuff, and a lot of them were Rastafarian. We had that kind of food, beans, lentils and stuff. It was the norm. And then I have family that we used to visit in London around that time, being young, and seeing the way that their grandmother, who's from Trinidad, and their mum cooked things like chickpeas and stuff. And it was all kind of emerged into what we would have with meat.
Okay.
So it was just basically the meat was just plunked on top, kind of thing. So when you take the meat away, you still got the rest of the meal. And I think when I met my husband, he was already vegan 10 years. So when I used to cook for him, and when I'm cooking, I would add what I eat, usually fish around that time, because I was going off meat anyway. I'm a bit of a meat snob, to be honest. I was never into slimy, the meat that people are eating now is not the meat we grew up on in the 80s. It's completely different. And it's a completely different type of meat and fish. So obviously, coming up with that, I'm thinking, nah, I can't eat this stuff anymore. And it was just a natural progression. He didn't, try and coax me into it or say, look, my wife needs to be vegan. It was nothing like that. He was really supportive. But at the same time, I could feel myself taking that transition through to a vegan lifestyle. And that's just how it happened, really. But I think from upbringing, we always saw it. It wasn't nothing big. It was an ITIL diet.
Okay, so do you feel any health benefits from it? Did you get any health benefits? Like, notice any change?
Yeah, because when I met my husband, I was also already a mother to a daughter who was 10 at the time. And I used to feel like my food would take so long to digest. I used to feel that. I used to feel quite sluggish after a meal. When going into veganism about 4 years into our relationship, I started to feel like I had more energy, especially in the evening. Also switching around how we make our meals and when. So we eat our main meal earlier on in the day so that our body has the whole day to kind of digest, what we've eaten, and before bed. So we're not going to bed on a full stomach. Excuse me. Yeah. And so it's kind of like I guess I get a feeling of there's definite health benefits, and I can feel more energized, and I feel more, with it as well. It's really hard to explain, but the difference is massive, definitely. And I've always had vegan pregnancies, might I add. Okay. My babies in the uterus do not like any animal products. So as soon as I started having more children, it was just off the menu anyway. I couldn't even smell it, couldn't go to the supermarkets and see it, nothing, it just turned me off. So
there's a lot of stigmata around that, isn't there? There's like, if you tell somebody, I'm not eating meat, they're like, the doctors will probably be like, no, you've got to eat the meat. You need the iron, you need the protein. And they don't realize that like a lot of protein comes from beans, and stuff like this, So there's always
broccoli.
Broccoli, there's kale is a good one. Resourceful. So
very. I think we've had to re-educate ourselves on the diet and on health benefits of what we're eating as well. And I think obviously it's taught a certain way in school to benefit the whole system of, production.
That's a big industry.
The supermarket. It's an industry, and in that industry, people need paying. So obviously that filters through to the school education system as well.
That's one of the reasons why I came off meat. I think I watched a video once. I can't remember. It was a video of like how to slaughter the chickens and stuff. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this no more. And the first reason why I quit meat was because I was like, I'm not supporting this industry. So I can't support it. I said, if I don't like that, it's not because I got a particular love for animals or anything. I mean, I do like animals, but it's not because I'm like, but I just think no one should be tortured, like including animals. So I said, I'm not going to eat that. If there's another way to do it, I'm going to do it that way. So that was the first step for me going vegetarian.
I've never watched anything like that. I can't really watch things like that. I find it quite traumatic, to be honest. So I've never watched any of the documentaries. There's never any scaremongering into it, basically. No, I didn't feel like that anyway. But over time, I've had a different type of love for animals now than I did before. Definitely. That's just naturally with time. And I guess, that's just the way it's gone.
Sorry, how long did you say you was a vegan so far? How long?
So what is it? What it's coming up 5 years now, I think.
5 years, yeah. Well,
Has
give you a round of applause, you know. 5 years.
Oh, thank you.
I only made 2, but like I said, I think I'd still be a vegan if I wasn't traveling so much. I think I probably would still be, but I was just in these countries that they didn't allow. Question is actually, I wanted to go back a little bit. How do you, because I've got 3 kids and I can't get vegetables and stuff into them. I can't get nice food into them. They just want garbage. So how do you convince your young kids, because your kids are quite young, aren't they? How do you convince them to eat? But then I guess if you start off, if you start off that way, they don't know anything else. So there's no real fight. But isn't there like when they go to school and they eat, or do you pack lunch for them? How's that work?
Well, firstly, our eldest is actually 19. And even at my tender age of 19, 20, having a young child, I always, from my own upbringing, knew the importance of fresh fruit and vegetables. I remember walking back from the markets and your arms are dragging on the floor of all the bags, the blue and white bags, and you're just bopping. And we just think, when are we ever going to get in? That was all fruit and veg. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I grew up. So credit to my mum and dad, obviously, that was the way of life. I didn't know anything different. So when I was obviously weaning my daughter, even though I was young, that's how she was weaned, and she still is the same now. She's not vegan, my eldest daughter, but she has a very good diet, and she knows what's important. With these younger children now, we have homeschooled, home educated, conception.
Yeah.
So they've never been into an institution before, and we have no plans to. So their diet is obviously what we eat, and it always has been since we wean them. We don't wean our babies onto anything like, the packet foods or
the processed stuff.
Or the jar, even the jars with all the mixes in, like pear and apple crumble and things like that. We have it quite strict and quite, when I say strict, I mean simple. So we have like soft boiled, like butternut squash, parsnips, all separate. So the child can, appreciate the taste of the raw fruit or vegetable by itself and take that tanginess and take it so that when they do eat, when they're a bit older and they're eating like us, they know their taste buds can tell them, you've had this before, or you haven't, but you will accept it because you've tasted things from its raw state. And I think that's really important, really. I think sometimes we try and make food sound so nice for babies, and we're mixing up, you're mixing up potato, you're probably dropping a bit of butter in it, or, it really leads them up the wrong path, honestly, because that's what they're looking for. It's that salt kick. It's the later on you have problems sometimes, but our children love their food. They're very passionate about animals, but it's also at the same time they love the idea of eating. They love the idea of growing their own food, which we're exploring now.
Look into actually, maybe that doesn't work. Maybe you can look into hydroponics.
Okay.
I don't know about hydroponics. That's basically like a system you can build in your garden, which allows you to grow like a load of fruit quickly, and it's like a self-sustainable water system. Runs through like the whole garden and stuff. Have a look into that. You can do aquaponics too. You can do it with fish. That's aquaponics.
I will.
If I want to do hydroponics, is probably better.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Okay, so I think everyone wants to know how you can keep your bill so low. But before we ask that question, I want to know: was there a time when you was giving an extortionate amount of money out, or have you always been able to budget? Like, because look, we're black. We've always had to budget. We've never had money. We don't have money. No one gives us like a £50,000 salary or whatever a year. No one does that. We're on like 20, not even 20. If we're lucky, 15, 16,000 a year. So how did you have a time when you used to spend a lot of money on food and thought, no, this things kind of run,
Yeah. Well, to be honest, we do see ourselves as a very rich family anyway. So, we can get whatever we want. Whatever we want, we can have. But at the same time, I think we have to get smart with our spending. And I think what happens is we get into a pattern of we're in the supermarket, and I've done it too, and we're piling on, and we think it's a sign of wealth. We see as the bigger your trolley, it means you've got your stuff together. It means you can afford what you want. But when in actual fact, you're feeding into the kind of convenience culture, so to speak, and you're not really doing as much fresh food, because if it was fresh food, you wouldn't have to pile up so much.
Exactly.
It's more convenient style. So I think we've had to re-educate ourselves in terms of what is shopping. Well, what is it? What do we really need?
Yeah.
And when you look at it, what we need, we didn't say to ourselves, look, we've only got £25 a week. We didn't say it like that. It was more of, well, when we take the crap out and then we take the things out that were advertised on telly, which we don't watch. So, we don't have that kind of influence where it's like, oh, we tried this, but social media does it for you, don't they? So they kind of tell you what you should be having, especially as vegans. There's lots of packet vegan things now where everyone's like on these hypes. And when you take out all the rubbish, you find that your fruit and veg probably comes up to about £25, if not less.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what we do. And we add a few bits on every week. You know, if there's a birthday or something, we might add things on to help with the baking or things like that. But generally, we don't really go over that for fruit and veg, really. And if we do, it's because we are preparing for a batch cook of some sort.
Okay.
So obviously, I used to go shopping, and I used to go shopping hungry as well, because I put the children to bed.
Bad idea.
Or me and my husband would go out early in the morning after breakfast, and then we're ready for dinner, and we're out for shopping and everything, and it's auntie is in that trolley. And then when you think about it, I didn't need this, I didn't need that, I could have baked that, I could have made that, and it's all convenient. So I tell you what happened was, the first instance was when I was heavily pregnant. I stopped doing a bigger shop, and my husband always shops anyway, but I started giving him my list of the things I needed. And when you ask a man to shop, he will get what you need. He's not getting anything else on the side. If you say carrots, he's getting carrots. So he's not going to come back with all this, frilly stuff afterwards, right? So that was how we realized. And I realized, hold on a minute. I used to look at the receipts and think, you spent 19. When I go, it's like 43 or, and I started reanalyzing the way that I was shopping. And I thought, I need to take a leaf out of my husband's book and get what we need and stop going down those middle aisles and going down the freezer aisles. I just stay away. If I go in any supermarket, I go up the fruit, down the veg and out.
Okay.
If I need other things, I'll be really strict. I say to my son, Terrell is 6, I say, Terrell, tell me if I'm going over the budget, or tell me if I haven't listed what I'm about to pick up. And he'll say, Mommy, you didn't list that. And at the time I'm thinking, shh. I asked him to tell me that.
Put those sweets down in it.
You have to go, listen, put that, Mommy, that's not on the list. I'm like, okay, thanks, Terrell.
So it's discipline. Wow.
But the discipline, definitely.
What is that? You built a rod for your own back, I guess, with that one.
Exactly. Exactly. So yes, my husband showed me the way with that. Get what you need and get out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So wait. So you go there, you go to the supermarket, you go and buy fruit and vegetables, and then you leave. So what about, like, 'cause when I had 25 quid, I was like, okay, a lot of dumplings.
Watching up, I just finished them actually.
You eat a lot of fried dumplings. I know this. You buy 25 bags of flour. Yeah, you good? You good? That was a Jamaican. Are you Jamaican too, or
yeah,
that's a Jamaican standard.
And my dad's family are from St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay, yeah. So the Caribbean.
Yeah, my mum's family from Jamaica.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we know about, the staple foods are very important and they carry you through the week.
Yeah.
They really do. So when you heard that, you thought dumplings straight away.
I was like, this woman's on dumplings, man, and making it look good. Okay, so I've been doing a sugar diet for the last week. It's like day 9 now. Actually, is it 9?
Okay.
9 or 8. Because I decided I want to not eat sugar, not eat sugar permanently, but like maybe only on weekends. Because the first thing I realized is sugar in everything. There is sugar in everything. There's nothing with no sugar in. It's like, oh my God. Except I found some beans, red kidney beans. They didn't have no sugar in it. Not the ones they weren't actually in the tin, but I think you'd have to buy the dry ones and then pressure cook them or boil them for a long time. So yeah, I've gone to the supermarket now. I think I've been every other day, and I've spent every time I've been there, I've spent like, I don't know, at least 30 euros. So it's about 27 pounds a time in 9 days. So I've probably spent like 75, almost 75 pounds just to get me through the sugar diet, because there's absolutely nothing I can eat. So I have to go to like the healthy aisle, you know, and get the brown. Get the brown rice. You know, brown rice, when we was young, brown rice didn't cost anything. Today, you almost buy £3 for a bag of brown rice. It's horrible.
But to be honest, though, it's because I think sometimes we have to go back to basics. Like I've uploaded some videos on it actually onto our YouTube channel about how I shop for the month as well, because we do have a separate monthly shop, but it's still nowhere near the price that people assumed it would be as well. And we buy lots of dried beans, dried chickpeas, dried kidney beans. We dry it, and we have boil and soak days. So we have like a couple of days where it's just soaked and then boiled the next day, and then we batch freeze, and then we defrost when we want, cook it up and flavor it, and have it with what we want. And we get the big massive 5k of brown rice as well, which is £8.99. So I mean, I don't know how it is in customs and stuff, but I guess when you come over, you should just go to certain shops and pack up before you go back.
That's what I do. I always get my hot sauce, you know what I mean? My Jamaican done with a hot sauce. I can't live without. I got like 7 bottles downstairs. That's not enough though. That's gonna run out in 2 months. That'll be gone in 2 months.
Hot sauce. Wow.
So you basically, how you do it? You go shopping, then you prepare. It's all about preparations, isn't it? You have to prepare everything. There is no, we'll do it last minute. You've probably cooked up a load of rice, cooked up a load of beans. And stuff like
things that I cook fresh. The things that I cook fresh is all our salads and veg and our rice as well. I don't batch cook rice because it's just 25 minutes in it. So I just kind of batch cook the beans and lentils and stuff, things that people would normally buy in the tin. I've batch prepared in freezer containers, and each container that I have will last 3 days. So I'm able to stretch that meal for 3 days. So one day we might have it with brown rice. Another day we might have it with jacket potatoes. Another day could be couscous. And like the other day, I just fancied a change and did boiled dumplings to have with it, and then salad and avocado with the beans and stuff. So that's that, just stretch it out that way. And then some days, if there's a little bit left, I might add brown lentils onto that just to bulk it up, or I'll make pastry and make patties instead with the small amount, because you only need just over a dessert spoon for a patty.
Like a Jamaican patty?
Much filling for a patty.
Like a Jamaican patty or saltfish. Actually, don't do saltfish pasties, do you?
Yeah, when you whatever we've had for dinner, I will put in pastry and make a patty out of it.
Oh, okay. That's actually a really good way to repurpose the meal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a nugget. Look, everybody, you're kind of wasting the food, bang in the freezer, making next day in a patty. I mean, how long does it take you to roll the pastry for patty?
Not long at all. And if you really want to be lazy, you can buy ready to roll pastry for £1 in most supermarkets. And then you just cut it to size and slap it in.
Okay, so
it's not.
So we want to know: do you eat sweets then? Because I gotta compare it to me. Obviously, when we go to the shop and my kids are like, "Can we have this? Can we have that? Can we have this?" And they'll pick up this big bag of sweets that cost like £2 or £3, and I'm like, "Yo, £3 for sweets, man? What's the world coming to?" Do you have that? Do you have that problem, or you like? Do you?
I think,
Hi. Hello. I'm sorry. I love kids.
Like, what's going on?
He's like,
I don't think. we have like, we don't go and buy loads of sweets from any supermarket, put it that way. But we do have the odd bag, but we'll tend to buy it from our corner shop because then it's not part of the shopping. If we do. And that's on a very odd occasion. And then obviously, because I love things like licorice. I love licorice. So like, really?
I like aniseed, but licorice. Oh,
I love licorice.
That was my mom's thing though.
Yeah, I love licorice, and it's good for you as well. So like, if we go to Holland and Barry, they have the penny sale. They have lots of, you buy 3 get 2 for 2, and so we buy things like that every so often. Especially if there's a birthday or something, because we make party bags for the children when it's either of their birthdays. Because all of them together is one big party anyway. So we make them all party bags when we have parties.
That's my next question, actually. How do you manage with? I got 3 kids. You got double what I have. How do you manage? Because I'm struggling. Look, you can see bags under my eyes. Look, remember that whole theory about black don't crack? It's working for you, but look at me. I'm cracking like.
I think a lot of it is to do with just how we are as our lifestyle. Our lifestyle is very much what we want it to be. Yeah, we take it quite easy, not too easy. We've still got work to do. We're still working parents within our hub though, and we work for ourselves. Yeah. So we don't have that stress of outside kind of management in our home. It's our home and we manage it. And my husband leads it, so it's not I don't know, we don't really get mad behavior issues. You probably get a little flare up of a tantrum every so often, but it's usually due to a hierarchy of need, like tiredness or hunger or whatever, and we can sort it quite quickly. But in terms of day-to-day coping, it's our lifestyle, isn't it? And this is my job. My job is my family, so just put my all into it, really.
It's funny you should say that, because a lot of people say, obviously there's always this discussion that what the kids eat affects their behavior. Because you raise vegan kids, do you think that, when you look at other people's kids, but then again, you don't send them to school, so you probably have no real benchmark to measure them by.
It's quite hard, really, but people do say that they find that our children are very extra calm and good listeners, but also very still proactive, quite happy children. And I guess because we have had a child that's gone through the education system, we can see the difference. Yes, if you dose your children up on sweets, you are going to be managing some pretty mad behaviors when they come down off that sugar.
Guilty as charged. Guilty.
It's the come down, because we see ourselves, when it's Christmas or what have you not, and they've got like extra sweets around them and stuff. Although we try and go for the kind of fruit-based sweets and stuff, a lot of things does have sugar in it still. So we do see ourselves, we see the difference in them. And it's quite tricky, to be honest, to manage children when they're dosed up on sugar. It really is. So we try and keep that to a minimum, if I'm honest. Where they get their sweets from blueberries. It's a couple of blueberries. Or dried fruit. Lots of dried fruit, actually.
So dried fruit is better than... The thing is, I always find... The thing is, like in England, dried fruit is probably not expensive, but because I'm on the continent, you see, like, I always come to England to shop my stuff when I come there. I drive there and I fill up my car with all kind of products and I come back, because some of the stuff is just so expensive in Europe, because obviously we're from the Jamaican community and we're used to particular stuff, which has never really made its way across to Europe at the moment. There's like a very small black community. So a lot of times, like, when I have to buy stuff that's like special, you get it from like maybe an African shop 200 miles away, and it costs an arm and a leg. It's the same with hair care products and stuff to keep your hair nice. There's like one African shop in like a 500-mile radius. It's like, oh my God, guys, man, what is this? So, do you
and do you find that that's hard? Is it hard for them to get that sort? Oh, that frozen. Oh, it's back now. Yeah.
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No, it froze for a minute then. Yeah. Do you find that it's hard for people to get that imported in? Is it hard? Is that what the problem is?
I think the problem is they just don't know about it. Like, for example, in England, there's a huge Jamaican community, but in Germany, like I think there's one Jamaican restaurant that I know of that I only heard that there's one Jamaican restaurant that exists. So I had the idea a couple of years ago, like a decade ago. I was like to my family, because we're all cooks, we can all cook really well. Let's do a Jamaican restaurant in Germany, but no one, you know, it goes. No one wants to do it. Oh, no, I ain't going to Germany. But I was like, we'd be Mongols now. You know, we'd have an enterprise. We'd be millionaires. But yeah, that was the plan back then. And Jamaican food, you can make it cheap. Like you make patties. You know, so patties, rice and peas. I mean, if you go to a Jamaican shop, it costs what, like £10 to get stew peas and rice or something. Do that in Germany, you could probably charge 15.
Wow.
Like, oh, this is amazing. So, you know, if you're looking for any ideas, you know, I want to cut. That's 15%. Yeah, that's 15%. Every guest who comes on Black Uplifts and gets an idea from us pays us 15% starting today.
Let's just pick that in neatly. I think, but you know what? To be honest, we say Jamaican food, but when it's still African food, but it's called African something food, else. So you can always still find it. You can always still find it. Like my mother-in-law calls plantain matoke. She's from Uganda, and she calls it matoke. So you just have to ask for the right thing sometimes, especially if they've got African shops. You know they're bound to have all that stuff.
Actually, you're right about that. Yeah. Now I come to figure it, you are right. Like, because even Brazil, when they call it feijão and arroz. That's beans and rice, which is what we call rice and peas. I was like, you guys got rice and peas too, man. And they have this what do they call it? It's actually called feijão, and it's it's just like you know, stew peas, like with pig's tail or oxtail or something. It's the same thing. I'm like, they do it in Brazil. You know, we did it like obviously in Jamaican kitchen. So So what are your hopes for the future? Are you hoping to pass your knowledge onto the kids and stuff, and you know, have like a big movement going on? Everyone's vegan. Actually, wait there.
I think
before you answer that, is anyone not a vegan in your house? Did your first daughter somehow escape? Did anyone escape?
No one escaped.
They were like, I'm not being a vegan.
The animals escaped. The animals escaped. Yeah. Well, our eldest daughter, she's actually moved out. She started her own business. She's moved out.
Okay.
She moved out it's coming up 2 years now already. Yeah. So in our household, everyone's vegan. And while she lived here, she was vegan and she respected it.
Okay.
She's actually quite a good vegan cook, if I'm honest. She's really, really good. She knows how to throw down good vegan food. So as long as we can still instill that in them and give them that option and to have a different taste of a different lifestyle, then that's what we can do really as parents, isn't it? You can't really predict exactly how they're going to go in the future. However, if we've instilled those basic values in them, we can only hope that they benefit from them, and they are already. So, you know, as time goes on, we'll see. Time will tell, won't we, as they get older. But I mean, whilst we're on our roof, it's our rules, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
That's it.
Because when obviously I've been a vegetarian for 10 years, and when I had my first daughter, she's 7 now. Our plan was to make them all vegetarians, but we had obviously conflicting ideas with certain members of the family who decided that it was not the right way to go, and they wanted to feed them sausages or whatever you do in Germany, you know, pork. And I was like, no. But you know, we're like, okay, they're their own people. Let them decide if they want to. But I'm like, at some point, they will not eat meat. Because I'm a bit more like authoritarian, you know. I'm like, they're not gonna eat. I'm a dictator at home, you know. So that's my plan going forward. Is I'm gonna tell them that at some point the meat eating stops. When you get to an age where they start understanding why we don't eat meat, then that's what we'll do. So
it's important. The leadership in your home is really important because it's the comfort also, and it's also the support frame that you have around your family, isn't it? So if it can cause confusion if we're not leading, you know, and I think the values that you set, they have to be respected, really. So I'm sure all will be well.
Yeah. So anyway, I think I've pretty much finished all my questions. I'm just checking if I've got any more. Health. Nice downloading it. Yeah, I think I'm out of my questions. So how's it been anyway? We can go a little freestyle for a bit. How has it been surviving in the house with obviously 6 kids and it's been COVID? You've been locked down. You know, have you
Yeah.
found it being really like wild and stuff because of it or
Not really. Where we live in Rubery, as you would know from your mum being in Northfield, it's very much countryside over this way. And you're on the doorstep of the countryside basically. Our back garden is Worcester, so we are on the last road of Rubery.
Oh really?
Frankly, that way we're on the last road. So after us, it's countryside.
Okay.
At the back of us is countryside. So we have the access to some beautiful scenic, also walks, also parks, but not so much parks with loads of apparatus, but parks where children can just be themselves and be creative. And yeah, definitely, and do, climb trees and all that kind of stuff. So when we feel like it's getting tense in the house and, like that kind of, pressure cooker bubbling, then we just take them out into the fields.
Yeah, we're good igloo for that.
Say that again.
So do you notice when the kids are starting to get a little bit like, it's like
to be honest with ours, it's after a couple of days. It's not every day. And plus they go in our garden quite a bit. They've got a mud kitchen in the garden, so they're playing in that a lot. So they don't really get, I wouldn't say they get agitated after one day. It's probably about 2 days if they haven't been out. But yeah, they're quite free flowing children, to be honest, because they don't have rigid timetables and time scales where they have to be doing stuff, for outside influence or in terms of school and stuff. So we kind of just go with the flow and the family flow. If we've got something to do, we'll incorporate core subjects into that. Yeah. And everything is a lifestyle of learning, isn't it? So
yeah, I love the idea of homeschooling. This is another thing living in Germany. You're not allowed to homeschool your kids. You are not allowed. It's like if you try and do that, you'll have the authorities at your door, the social services, and they'll remove your kids from your house. Also, with the whole injection thing that's going around, obviously everyone's nervous about the whole vaccine thing. Here, you have to have it. Here, there is no choice. I'm like, wow. And me come from England, obviously, where we fight this establishment. We're like kind of like, no, here they'll just kind of just go with it. Yeah, it's always been that way. That's how they're saying. It's like, wow. So homeschooling my kids would have been, it's kind of a dream for me. It's why I'm trying to work really hard so I can move away to Brazil and maybe buy a farm, coconut farm. I would love a coconut farm, live in my natural habitat, where the sun's always blaring down, just nice, beautiful. That's my aspirations for the future. How does the future look for you then? Where do we go from here? Because you're obviously getting a lot of publicity now. Things are growing for you. What is your business? Do you have a business, or obviously you do a YouTube channel?
My husband's a photographer and videographer as well.
Okay.
He does weddings and events and stuff.
Great.
And then also he's a musician as well.
Okay.
And he's also a rapper.
So he's a rapper.
We've got the music side. Yeah, we've got the music. I'll send you some links to his tunes actually.
Yeah.
We've got the music side going. And then also we've got the YouTube channel where we're sharing our journey to document our memories as well as sharing with other families, because people are quite inspired by our daily lifestyle. And so we don't share everything every day. We kind of live in our moment too, but we do try and, put things together that we know will be useful to people. And then as well share like calendar events like birthdays and Christmas and stuff. Yeah. As time goes on, we're developing the channel more, we're having more time to do videos and stuff like that with and without the children. So, we've just not long finished making our gratitude diary as well. So we'll be selling that soon on our website once that's finished. And we're just kind of making sure that we are sticking to what we want to do, which is travel. We definitely want to travel more. And my mother-in-law has a house in Uganda. So we are looking to spend a lot of time there.
Yes.
A lot of time there. So we'll be going back and forth, and then other places as well, because there is such thing as world schooling, and the children will learn so much, even just from traveling to Manchester. They'll learn so much, never mind worldwide. So that's the kind of dream, the journey. And I always feel like dream is not the destination. We're already living it. We're already living the dream. We've got 6 healthy children.
Yes.
And we've got our health ourselves. Do you know what I mean? So we're already living the dream. But in addition, we would like to do those things, and keep moving forward.
That's definitely cool. That's like I said, that we're in sync there. That's definitely what I want to do is take my kids around, travel around the world, get as quickly as possible, get out of this country. That's my plan. That's a number one mission priority. Really get out of this country as soon as possible. And then the next destination will be Brazil. If I find something nice in Africa, Senegal, Ghana, Tanzania, somewhere like this, then I'll be like, great, I'm down there. But if I can't find that, I'm going to try and get across to Brazil. It's a bit expensive, but like you said, the natural food, if you want natural food, these are the places to go, because one thing I've noticed is a lot of people will live in these small villages in Brazil that have all the natural food at their footstep, their doorstep, and they'll rush off to the cities to pay $5, $10 for the same food they will get for free in their village. Yeah, but I don't get it either. And I'm like, man, I've lived in the city for over 20 years, and I couldn't get this level of quality. The avocados are this big, like huge avocados, bigger than my head. I was like, wow, and they were like not even 20 pence. And then I come here in Germany, I have to pay 2-3 euros for an avocado that's like this big, like you put it in your mouth, it's like, wow, this is not fair. Anyway, okay, Simone, I'm not going to keep you anymore because I can see the little one getting impatient. He's like, he's going to he's going to mess up your nice hairdo,
Feed me. Oh,
thanks for joining us on Black Uplifts.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let us know where we can find you, because like I've watched a couple of your videos. Actually, I watched a couple of ones where you just go around the shopping basket. What I would suggest is you do a recipe book, and how to shop cheap book, and you call it How to Shop Cheap, and that'll be a bestseller, I tell you, especially this day and age. Anyway, where can we find you?
You can find us at Thankfully True on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and Instagram, actually. And you can find us there. So feel free to DM us any questions. Do subscribe. And YouTube are messing around at the moment. I don't know if any of the content creators are out there noticing, but YouTube are messing with the algorithms at the moment. So you really have to be watching our videos to stay notified, even if your notifications are on. They will still put things like news content to the top of the list instead of showing who you're subscribed to. So that's really important as well, to actually watch the content so that it stays in your feed. And just enjoy the channel. Thankfully True on YouTube. Enjoy the channel. Let us know that you've come through yourselves, and let's keep in touch. And thank you for having us on. Thank you.
You got a fan in me anyway. You can always write me anytime you want to come and join us. You're welcome to just do a new show.
Thank you.
You're always welcome. Doors are always open. And hopefully when I get to England, maybe in July, we can meet up, and I'll bring the kids over. We'll eat some vegan food. Definitely.
Yes, that's brilliant. Yeah, of course. Yeah, always welcome. And I'll send you the link as well to the music.
Yeah, send me that too. And maybe we'll get your husband on next time. We can talk about his music. I'm going to have a music month coming up. This is an inspirational month.
It's Mark Roberts Music. Okay. Mark Roberts Music on Instagram.
Is it wait there? Is it like what's it called? Afrobeats?
No, it's conscious hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Hip-hop. Yeah, conscious positive hip hop. We do love our Afrobeats, but it's not Afrobeats just yet.
Okay.
Conscious hip hop. Yeah. Family friendly.
Cool.
Thank you ever so much.
You're welcome, Simone. We'll see you on the rebound. See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.